If you're between 65 and 80 and you can still do this, you're not just lucky, you're rare. You're a gem, shining through the decades with a vitality many only dream of. You're part of a small, exceptional group whose daily habits and quiet strengths whisper secrets about longevity. Not because you found a magical fountain of youth, but because the choices you make, the mindset you carry, and the little things you still do are writing a different story for your life. One that may just carry you to 100 and beyond. Let's talk about what these powerful signs are. Because if you recognize yourself in even one of them, you might be aging slower than you think. And that's something to celebrate. And if you can still do all of them, then not only are you ahead of the curve, but you're on a path that science, medicine, and real-life stories all agree points toward a longer, richer, more meaningful life. You see, most people expect a decline in old age. They expect the slowing down, the forgetting, the sitting more and doing less. Society has painted a picture of aging that often feels more like a countdown than a celebration. But there are some who quietly defy that expectation every single day. They get up and move. They stretch their limbs without groaning. They walk not because they have to, but because it makes them feel alive. Their bodies still remember the joy of motion. If you're one of those people who can rise out of a chair without using your arms, without huffing or hesitating, you're part of a rare group. That strength, that mobility, that connection between your brain and muscles, it speaks volumes. It tells us that your muscles haven't just aged gracefully, they've stayed loyal. And loyal muscles, especially in your legs and core, are some of the best predictors of longevity, that it's not just physical either. If you can still clearly remember what you had for breakfast, hold a conversation without losing your train of thought, or remember birthdays without needing to look at your calendar, your brain is still firing beautifully. That's no small thing. With age comes natural cognitive changes, but if you can still navigate your world mentally with clarity, you're maintaining something science calls cognitive reserve, a kind of mental savings account that keeps your mind sharp even when time tries to chip away at it. That mental flexibility isn't just about memory. It's about decision-making, focus, language, and even emotional regulation. The ability to manage stress, to stay calm in storms, to reflect instead of react. That is emotional intelligence at work. And if you've still got that, you're not only aging well, you're mastering life. But what's even more powerful than muscle and memory is your mindset. If you're between 65 and 80 and you still wake up with a sense of purpose, you're rare. If you still get excited to try new things, even small things like trying a new recipe or learning a new song, you're doing something miraculous. You're resisting the mental aging that leads to decline. Purpose has been shown again and again in studies to be a better predictor of long life than even some medical tests. People who feel like they matter, who feel useful, who have something to look forward to, they live longer. Not just by years, but by quality of life. They smile more. They engage more. Their bodies even show less inflammation. If you still believe the best parts of your life might still be ahead of you, you're not just positive, you're powerful. And then there's the rare gem who still laughs. Really laughs. The kind that shakes your belly and makes your eyes water. Laughter is not just a joy, it's medicine. It lowers stress hormones, boosts the immune system, and helps with pain. If you can still find something to laugh about, if you still have people in your life who make you feel like a kid again, then you're carrying a lightness that many lose with age. That emotional youthfulness is a huge advantage. It keeps your spirit curious and your heart young. Because the truth is, age isn't what your birth certificate says, it's how much light you have left in your heart. And let's talk about walking. If you can still walk a mile without stopping, without needing to rest or hold on to someone, you are far ahead of most people your age. Walking is more than a movement, it's a message from your body. It means your heart is still strong, Your lungs are still efficient, and your legs are still cooperating with your brain. Every step you take without assistance is a defiant act of strength. It's also a ritual that protects you. Walking improves blood flow, reduces the risk of stroke, maintains balance, and keeps your joints lubricated. But more than that, it keeps you connected to the world. People who walk often tend to talk more to neighbors, smile at strangers, notice the trees, the sky, the life around them. If you're still waking up each morning with a genuine desire to learn something new, even if it's just a small fact or a new way of doing something familiar, then you possess a rare mental spark that many lose with time. The desire to learn isn't reserved for the young. In fact, those who continue to be curious in older age have been shown to maintain sharper cognitive functions for longer periods. Your brain thrives on stimulation. Whether you're reading articles, solving puzzles, watching documentaries, or simply asking questions that lead to meaningful conversations, you're keeping your neurons engaged and forming new connections. That mental agility is not only a sign of youthful thinking, but it's also a strong predictor of a life full of awareness and mental clarity deep into your later years. Being able to forgive and let go of past wounds is another mark of the rare and emotionally evolved. Many people carry heavy emotional baggage into their later years, and it can quietly sap their energy, affect their health, and create mental stress that shows up in the body. But if you found the strength to forgive, not just others, but yourself, you've freed up a tremendous amount of emotional and physical energy. Bitterness and resentment have been linked to higher levels of stress hormones and even heart disease. In contrast, people who release grudges and embrace peace within themselves tend to have lower blood pressure, better sleep, and more stable emotional health. If you've made peace with your past and walk through your days with lightness in your heart, you're walking a longer, healthier path than most. Maintaining a sense of humor, even when life throws curveballs, is also a signal of deep emotional strength and resilience. If you can laugh at yourself, chuckle at life's little mishaps, and find humor even in difficult situations, you're not just making your days brighter, you're extending your life. Studies have shown that those who laugh often and maintain a humorous outlook suffer fewer depressive symptoms, experience less chronic pain, and even recover more quickly from illness. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about finding that tiny spark of joy or absurdity that reminds you, even during difficult times, that life is still worth smiling about. And if you still make time to be in nature, walking through a garden, listening to birdsong, sitting in the sun with a book, or just tending to a few plants, you're tapping into one of the most restorative resources we have. Nature has an incredible ability to lower stress, reduce anxiety, and recalibrate our nervous system. People who regularly spend time outdoors often have lower levels of cortisol, improved cardiovascular health, and stronger immune function. If you're 65 to 80 and still make an effort to touch grass, breathe fresh air, or feel the breeze against your skin, you're doing something ancient and healing. That connection to the earth keeps you grounded in ways medicine can't replicate. That let's not forget the strength it takes to ask for help when you need it. Many older adults avoid admitting they need support because they fear becoming a burden. But if you've learned that asking for help is a sign of wisdom rather than weakness, you're showing a kind of humility that supports long-term well-being. People who acknowledge their limits and seek out assistance when necessary often receive better medical care, avoid dangerous accidents, and build deeper relationships. It's not the denial of aging that keeps you alive longer. It's the graceful acceptance of it and the ability to navigate it with wisdom and community that if you still have a daily routine that gives your day structure and purpose, even something as simple as walking at a set time, journaling in the morning, making tea, or saying a quiet prayer, That regular rhythm is another subtle but powerful sign of longevity. Routines bring comfort, regulate our sleep, and give our bodies a sense of rhythm that benefits both mind and metabolism. The predictability of certain habits helps reduce stress and strengthens the body's natural circadian rhythms, which in turn improves sleep quality, digestion, and mood. If you wake up knowing what comes next and find joy in the predictability of your own routine, you're sending a message to your mind and body that they are cared for and safe. And if you still find beauty in simple things, a sunrise, a kind word, the sound of rain, or a child's laughter, then you've retained the kind of wonder that often fades with age. The ability to be moved by beauty is a sign of openness, sensitivity, and emotional depth. That emotional responsiveness is not only uplifting, it's life-enhancing. It keeps your soul young, your heart open, and your life rich with meaning. People who maintain a sense of awe and appreciation have been shown to experience more joy, greater gratitude, and less inflammation in the body. If you still pause to appreciate life's tiny gifts, you are nourishing yourself in ways no medicine ever could. Then there's the gift of giving. If you still give your time, your attention, your love, or your wisdom to others, you're living one of the deepest secrets of longevity. Giving has been linked to lower mortality rates, better mental health, and even longer lifespans. Whether you volunteer, help a neighbor, support your family, or just share your life lessons with someone younger, your generosity becomes a form of healing for yourself and those around you. You're not just living, you're leaving a legacy, and that legacy lives on in the people you've touched. And if you still take care of your hygiene, grooming, or dress with care, even if no one is around to see it, you're expressing self-respect and dignity. That self-respect is deeply linked to psychological well-being. It's not vanity, it's vitality. It means you still value yourself, and that valuation helps ward off depression, loneliness, and decline. It's a statement, I matter. And when you believe that, your body responds with strength. The rare ones also continue to plan. If you're 65 to 80 and still looking forward to future events, still marking your calendar, still dreaming about what you want to see or do, you're doing something powerful. Planning implies belief in a future. It gives your life direction. It keeps your mind active and your spirit optimistic. Even something as small as planning a day out with friends or looking forward to a family dinner boosts serotonin and give your heart something to look forward to. If you're still imagining tomorrow with excitement, you are far from finished. You are still growing. Also remarkable is the ability to adapt your diet and eating habits according to your changing body's needs. If you've made peace with letting go of certain foods, if you've embraced a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, fiber, and lean proteins, then you're nourishing yourself in ways that build longevity. If you listen to your body and feed it wisely, you're showing care, discipline, and wisdom. Food becomes medicine in old age, and those who understand this often live better and longer lives. That if you're still prioritizing sleep and understanding the importance of rest, not just as recovery, but as a pillar of health, then you're practicing one of the most underappreciated longevity habits. Deep, quality sleep is linked to memory, mood, immune strength, and even lifespan. If you allow yourself time to rest without guilt, to sleep deeply, and to wake with intention, you're fueling your body's natural healing processes. And if you still experience gratitude, not just think it, but feel it, you're engaging with one of the strongest emotional predictors of long life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It lowers stress, increases happiness, and improves relationships. People who feel and express gratitude daily tend to cope better with illness, bounce back from adversity, and experience more joy in their day-to-day lives. If you wake up thankful, If you go to sleep counting blessings instead of regrets, then you're nourishing your spirit in a way that science is only beginning to understand. If you're still practicing moderation in your habits, knowing when to say yes and when to say no, whether it's food, activity, or commitments, you're exercising one of the greatest traits of longevity: balance. Balance in all areas of life leads to a calmer mind, a healthier body, and fewer regrets. You've learned, perhaps through trial and error, that doing too much or too little throws everything off. So if you've settled into a rhythm where you enjoy life without overindulging or depriving yourself, you're living in harmony with your body's needs. That kind of wisdom takes decades to learn, and once mastered, it brings years of peace and strength in return. If you can still speak kindly to yourself, to look in the mirror and say, "I'm doing the best I can," then you're nurturing one of the deepest forces for well-being: self-compassion. As people age, the harsh self-criticism of youth sometimes lingers, whispering doubts or regrets. But if you've reached a point where you no longer punish yourself for past decisions, where you can forgive yourself and celebrate who you are now, you're standing in emotional freedom. And emotional freedom releases physical tension too. Studies have shown that people who practice self-compassion have lower rates of chronic illness, better immune function, and longer lives. Speaking kindly to yourself is a form of healing many overlook, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can develop in your later years. There's also something extraordinary about those who remain optimistic. If at your age you still believe in the possibility of good things, of better days, of joy ahead, you possess one of the strongest predictors of longevity. Optimism isn't denial of reality. It's the courage to hope despite challenges. People who maintain a hopeful outlook tend to have healthier hearts, stronger immune systems, and lower rates of depression. If you wake up believing that life still holds beauty and meaning, then your perspective is lengthening your life in ways even doctors admire. And if you've maintained a deep connection to your spiritual beliefs or values, whatever they may be, you're nourishing your inner world in a way that strengthens your outer life. Spirituality, prayer, meditation, or even moments of quiet reflection have been linked to better coping skills, reduced stress, and longer lives. If you take time to connect with something greater than yourself, to contemplate your place in the universe, or to feel gratitude for simply being alive, you're feeding your soul in the most life-affirming way possible. That depth, that rootedness, gives you the kind of stability that helps weather any storm. Let's not forget the importance of love. If you're still capable of giving and receiving love, whether from a spouse, a child, a grandchild, or even a pet, you are participating in life's most powerful energy. Love lowers stress, strengthens the heart, and gives life meaning. People who feel loved and who give love live longer, heal faster, and experience more joy. If you wake up and have someone to think about, someone who cares about you, or someone whose voice brings you peace, then you're already among the wealthiest in spirit. And love doesn't just mean romantic love. The love of a good friend, the comfort of a neighbor, the loyalty of a pet, or even the deep love you feel toward nature or your community. It all feeds your heart in a way that sustains life far longer than any medicine ever could. If you're still learning how to say no and protect your boundaries, that too is a sign of wisdom and emotional maturity. So many seniors fall into the habit of giving away too much of themselves out of guilt or habit, leaving them depleted. But if you've learned to honor your own energy, your own time, and your own peace, then you've achieved something many never do: self-respect. Boundaries protect your health, your time, your energy, and your joy. If you've discovered how to protect yourself without apology, you're showing a kind of strength that lengthens your life by preserving your vitality. Now, if you still seek out music, whether by listening, playing or dancing, you're tuning into a timeless form of healing. Music has been shown to reduce anxiety, improve sleep, lower blood pressure, and even slow cognitive decline. If you still hum your favorite tune, attend concerts, or simply let music fill your space, you're giving your brain and heart a kind of medicine that's both ancient and effective. The rhythm of music syncs with the rhythm of life, and those who keep music close often stay emotionally open, joyful, and youthful. And what about play? If you can still be playful, whether it's teasing someone lovingly, playing cards, solving puzzles, or dancing in the kitchen, you are holding on to something essential. Play isn't just for children. It's a powerful force that keeps the brain elastic, the heart light, and the soul nourished. Play is movement, curiosity, creativity, and laughter rolled into one. If you still allow yourself moments of silliness, if you still take delight in fun, you're practicing one of the greatest secrets of a joyful, long life. Those who play, stay. And here's another quiet yet remarkable trait. If you still give compliments freely, without envy or judgment, you are living from abundance. People who appreciate others without feeling threatened have found peace within themselves. Giving genuine praise, showing admiration, celebrating someone else's success or beauty or talent is a mark of internal security. It means your heart isn't shrinking with age, it's expanding. And that expansion opens the door to better relationships, deeper joy, and a sense of community that strengthens you far more than isolation ever could. If you still cook your own meals, even occasionally, you're engaging in a powerful ritual of nourishment and creativity. Cooking isn't just about food. It's about autonomy, intention, and care. It allows you to connect with your senses, to provide for yourself, and to stay engaged in the rhythms of life. Preparing a meal, however simple, is a message to your body that says, I'm worth the effort. And those who continue to feed themselves thoughtfully tend to eat more healthfully, feel more satisfied, and maintain better health over time. And if you still care about your home environment, whether that means keeping it tidy, decorating it with personal items, or creating a sense of peace in your space, then you're maintaining a connection to your identity and comfort. Your surroundings affect your mood, your energy, and your clarity. When people care for their living space, even in small ways, they are affirming their presence in the world. They're saying, this is still my space, my life, and it matters. That sense of ownership over your space reflects a vibrant inner life that resists passivity and decline, that if you've learned to adapt to life's losses with grace, whether that means the passing of loved ones, changes in your health, or shifts in your independence, you're showcasing one of the greatest qualities of longevity, emotional flexibility. Life after 65 often includes painful transitions. But those who survive and even grow through these moments are those who accept them without letting the grief take over entirely. If you've learned to feel the pain but not drown in it, to cry and still continue forward, to remember and still smile, then you're doing something truly powerful. That emotional endurance is a quiet superpower.